I mean, one concept, I mean, we have a few macro concepts and goals and objectives. And again, you said earlier, it takes some entrepreneurial, I don't remember what phrase you used, but yeah, I mean, and earning gray hairs and whatever else over the course of the years. But a big macro goal for us is to democratize exercise, namely resistance exercise. And so obviously, I mean, it depends on what you're reading, but let's just, for simple math, say 10% of the population does strength training. That's not good enough. So what are some of the steps that you see that, you know, whether it's through ARX or just what are your thoughts on how do we get there? How do we get the 10% to 20%? How do we continue to stair step that up?
Yeah, I think it's like we talked about before. Basically, it's by doing what we do.
Yeah.
And I think the neat thing about, you know, studios that do, you know, scientifically based exercise is that what you're tapping is, and that number probably more accurately is around 4%
Okay.
of the population.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is you're tapping that invisible graveyard. And those people, if you actually give them results when they failed elsewhere, and the funny thing is these people, by putting themselves out there as, you know, the real achiever, all the people that you see on YouTube that scream all this motivational shit behind, you know, their workout, when you do it and fail to produce results, you feel like you are the failure. Mm. So when you are able to take someone like that, bring them in, give them results, remove that sense of themselves as being a failure, they're going to talk to other people about it and it's going to spread. Right now, the marketing genius of CrossFit is, it's the same marketing genius as how you pick Navy SEALs. Mm. Okay, so when you bring someone, you know, to San Diego to become a Navy SEAL, all of that training isn't to toughen them up and get them in condition. And no, basically it's just find out who can survive some really horrendous shit and just weed out the crap. And then what you're left with is some really, you know, pretty damn studly people. Yeah. And what's happening is they are throwing aside a huge subsegment of the population that falls out. The attrition rate is huge. The injury rate is huge. And when you don't get results and you got injured and you can come do something and you do get results and you don't get injured, that is going to eventually snowball. And I think we're on that cusp right now. I think that's the good thing for anyone starting a business in this realm, manufacturing equipment in this realm, is that we are on a cusp where that can happen. The hard part being a facility owner is right now, you know, if you want equipment, it's hard to get. You know, it's hard to get medics unless you buy a complete line. They're not going to fire up the factory to do it. You know, you got to find used Renex, you got to find used super slow systems if you're going to have anything of that caliber. Or, you know, you can go with, you know, there's good companies out there that make plate loaded equipment that, you know, are well suited towards doing, you know, efficient protocols. But then when you look at running 100 clients through a day and having to load, you know, you got a 240-pound dude and the next person on your schedule is a 98-pound grandma, you know, the loading and unloading of plates can get pretty old and everything. So, you know, but I think the market is there and it's huge. It's a big invisible graveyard that's ready to be tapped.